right.
All right, we're back on.
Episode 4.
4? Right,
Episode
not
4.
3.
Not 3, this is episode
not
4.
3 and a half. 4.
Not 3 and a half. It's definitely a different day.
The week.
Yeah.
Right? It's 1 week later.
Yeah, we're just wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, it's the same exact. Yeah, it's not been like 10 minutes after. No, not still. But yeah, I'm gonna get some of this beer actually because it's nighttime now. Actually, no, it's the same time as before. But yes.
I want to start with a question this episode.
Oh, okay?
Yeah.
Take it away, Alex. Yeah, let's do it. Let's hear it.
We were talking in the last, just for context, in the last episode we were talking about communities,
you mean
local communities.
Last week, right?
Last week we talked about offline communities.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of touched up on religious communities, sport communities. And I think, the question is basically, what is a community? Is mainly focusing on online ones. People kind of often talk about the Twitter community, the Reddit community. People call a special, like a certain subreddit, they tend to call it a community.
Yes.
So for example, Wall Street Bets, with this whole thing that happened a few months ago about GME and stuff. The Wall Street Bets community, right? But there's like 1 million people on that subreddit. They don't obviously know each other. No one knows anyone. On Twitter, some people follow each other, but maybe someone replies to you, you don't know them potentially, and people call this a community. So yeah, is it a community? What makes a community? What is a community?
Okay, so I think it's a very open question and depends on what is a community for you, right? I think that's the question we should answer first. For me particularly, a community is a space where people get together because they want to know or they know about a topic, and they want to just know more, compare their opinion against each other's, and just take it from there, right? It could be related topics to that. It could be just progress deeper into what they know, or they just want to...
Yeah, but then is Wikipedia a community?
But then the people element isn't there, really. Or I mean, maybe it is. I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering.
About the editors, right?
Because in a lot of these online communities, people don't know each other. So do you need to know, do you need to recognize names, usernames? Doesn't have to be real names, but you need to. Do you need to recognize people in order for the community to exist?
Right.
I've always felt like you do, but maybe. I don't know.
So your proposal for you do. Okay, I see. I think for me, what you're describing is more of a group,
Right.
Like a gang, just people, like a group of people that you know. The community is just like it has its own like arms and legs, and there's like anonymous people, and there's people that you know, and there's people with opinions in one side and the other side, but it's all related to one topic.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting you mentioned a few different types of communities, because subreddits is a funny one because it's usually like just a niche. Yeah. Right? There's just this niche, and it's very funny. I don't know if it happened to you, but every time I find like a subreddit for like a new thing, it's like I don't know, like it's like water, right? It's just water. It's like glass of water. Like, okay, cool. Water is cool. Like, it's nice, and it's like, no, I love this H2O. You could have in this glass and that glass. It should really be done in that glass. Like
it's called hydro homies.
Is that actual? Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, it's for they talk about.
Is that like you should drink as much water, this much water, like, or is it more like just loving water?
I'm not sure if it's ironic, but it's around like loving water, drinking water.
I'm pretty sure it's real.
It could be. I was going to say ironic.
I could tell.
I don't actually know. I don't know. Fair. I've just seen it mentioned.
You want to think it's ironic because surely it is, right? But this is the internet. I believe everything's...
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some people there that are there for like their irony, you you really have to worry about filter all the way or something like that. But yeah, those are interesting how people shift based on that community.
I do feel like how years ago there used to be, and I'm sure there still are some, but it's not as famous, as popular, the classic forums, from when we were younger. A forum would be like this place with a bunch of categories, which were essentially like subreddits. Yeah. But they tended to have less people in general, I think. So they were quite niche, right? And people tended to know each other, so you would like be on these, maybe if you were into cars, maybe you would be in a UK Nissan owners forum.
Yeah.
You know, and like people talked, and subreddits sort of do that, but because you're in so many, and you don't really browse the subreddit specifically, you kind of just go through the homepage. It'll be like Twitter, where you just see like a bunch of mixed things. I don't know. I feel like we're losing communities in a way.
You're losing the closeness aspect of community. That's very concerned. Yeah, but that's just happening with the democratization of content in general, right? Like before, when someone did like a stop motion video, it was like this super creative, just like super niche thing. And now there's like, for every single thing that you can imagine, there's like an infinite like variety of content and creators and things. So the same happens. It just becomes like it's normalized. It's not as special anymore. So I think I wonder.
What is it, creating content?
Sorry.
What isn't special anymore?
Just the communities, or
right.
Because the content, there's so much content.
Exactly.
There's just so much content.
There's a bit of irony, I guess, in us saying that, right? As like we say that as we create content.
That's
like
actually,
there's millions of podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are recording more.
Yeah, true.
Right,
but
who has time? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't. Yeah, it's true, but also. It's already a problem. It's not like we're
we're not making it. Well, we are making it worse, I guess. But
I guess we are making it worse.
At the same time, more content means that there's. You would hope that there's a chance that each person finds exactly what they want to find, and this is probably not true, because the content tends to have like the few big ones that everyone listens to or watches, and then the other smaller ones that no one knows about, I guess.
You'd be surprised. Like, I don't know if you've there's so many. I don't know. So a good example is Instagram. Instagram is seeing more value in small creators, like many small creators with small followers, but very niche audiences, right? So like different styles, where like they don't care about these brands or all this stuff. And ironically, like the big brands have attach themselves in other ways to those creators, so it's the same thing in the end,
right?
But the audience is like spread out, like they'll follow 10 people that they feel are more real and human, instead of the big brands and things and big influencers that everyone knows, because they want to feel special, because there's so much choice that everyone likes the big star or whatever, knows them, and no one can relate really, because they're so massive. So the smaller ones, the better. But it also means that when scanning through them, it's harder. But also, when you find something, then it's easier to engage. But also, if you don't engage, then there's a lot of them where you just browse through.
It's easier to consume mindlessly, right?
Exactly. It's very.
I was about to say, Instagram is not a community, or is it?
So, Instagram is not a community, but an Instagrammer can have a community.
Where would they have it?
In there is like the comment section.
Do you think that's
the comment section?
So there's a community within the comments of each Instagrammer.
We have different definitions of a community, but people would call an Instagram following a community, because they will have values and they will.
I was gonna say the reason I don't think it's a community. It's because it's very one-sided. It's the Instagrammer posts something, people reply to that thing, and they don't necessarily engage talking among themselves. And then, you see what I mean? Like, let's say person A posts a comment, maybe person B replies. That's about it. And then person A is not gonna like post their own photo that then person B is gonna go watch. And then you see, it's like a very.
So I want okay, you're right in that sense, but I don't pretend to know, or don't pretend to say that I know how they work, or this like super new community, super niche, but I feel like there's some element of, because we both are like devoted to this person or brand or item or category of whatever niche, we are actually gonna share information and like just share what we know about this thing, or and I've seen things come out of that.
Yeah, this is a bit of a fun club in a way, right?
Yeah, it is. But
Yeah.
like it'll create. So if there's an event where that thing is, related to say it's about coffee, and of course it's about coffee. I love coffee. For anyone who doesn't know, and there's a coffee YouTuber, and they do an event. It's going to be a coffee event. Everyone's going to talk about coffee.
And that's going to feel like a community, right?
Right. So they are there to see the thing.
Yeah. But it's a bit like they're the equivalent in my mind to a famous singer, right? A famous artist. Like you follow them, other people follow them. You have that in common, and that can build some community.
Okay.
I don't know if the Reddit, like the Instagram comments are certainly not made to promote discussion though, because there's like, one level and then one level of replies and that's it.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's a bit lacking. I think the problem with these platforms is that they are very much focused towards one person creates content, many people consume the content. So it's very different from the traditional forums where everyone creates content and everyone discusses the content. Now it's like the stars and then the fans, right? Which is fine, but it's a bit of a different world, right? It's like when you see a popular Twitch streamer and their comment section goes by at the speed of light. Like people are posting so many comments at the same time that no one's reading any comment.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's a bit strange because it's like, what's the point?
What's even the point of like, why is anyone commenting, right?
Imagine some guy streaming, one or woman, some person streaming, and I have 1 million people watching, all and half of them are posting comments. Like, it's ridiculous. What's the point? I don't know. Maybe they should be split into groups, little groups. Maybe it should be like dot.
Low key shout out hit there.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what it looks like from their perspective. Like maybe they think that just because like mine's gonna be different, mine is gonna get read.
I've seen a few like video game driven, video game focused streams. And they sort of tend to look at the comments from time to time, and thing is you can kind of see like themes in the comments.
Okay. So
like they do something, I don't know, they're like, should I leave the building? Should I go in or whatever? And then you see like thousands of people commenting, go in. So they like see this sort of hive mind.
Right.
So it's not quite, it's not like one person gets to decide, but they see like this theme.
It'd be interesting if it could... if for the streamer there would be a super quick way of just polling for answers, and that way it's just like very clear.
Yeah,
but I guess they don't even need that. I don't know. Yeah,
it depends. It could be useful.
But that's kind of nice though, because that is there is a communication between the community and the creator.
But essentially, it's a community in the sense that they all share something, which is that they're all fans of the same person, but the platform doesn't allow a community.
Empower them.
It doesn't empower a
community.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like it's missing the other bit. It's like the hangout. It's almost like what we discussed in the previous episode. Like you do the work meeting, then you're missing the hangout space. Like there's no like in Instagram. It would be pretty cool if you could sort of be in like this hangout space with like all of the other followers of this.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. I mean, I guess Instagram is trying not to put too many eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not saying they should. Yeah.
But I think from the communities I am that are like based on like a person or influencer or something like that, is the answer's always been Discord. Like, okay, guys, if you want to talk to each other, we have this Discord thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe even the like influencer person will be there.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think that's it. That's exactly the key.
Been there.
Discord creates community.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's the closest thing right now, maybe, to
that's exactly it.
A community platform.
Yeah.
Because I've been in a few Slack communities, and the problem that always happens is that it starts off usually quite well until you have maybe 100 people. Depends on your volume of people commenting versus people just looking.
Posting,
But it'll get to a point where it just gets out of control, and the direction of the whole, like, just the content direction, because no one's watching really. There could be some moderators in some big ones, but still, you have to like know what to pick. Whereas if it's like very niche and like you have a few people, I actually started one and it was like only 20 people at the beginning, and it was great because it was handpicked, and it was only based off the people that talk to each other often on Twitter. And it's like, actually, we just need a bigger place to continue this conversation. So that worked really well.
Because Twitter is also a platform that doesn't quite promote maybe community.
Shared conversation is just one-to-one, right?
Exactly.
But Twitter is not like Instagram necessarily, I think.
No.
Right? It's more like...
It's closer to a community. Mm-hmm. Not quite. It's a bit of a different thing, but it makes sense. Like, you can't... It kind of sounds like you can't have too big of a community, otherwise you have sub-communities. Like, then it's too big. Right?
I was saying... after a while, I think it was 100 people or something like that, you go like the people raising questions that maybe many people already knew, and you kind of want to help people, but at a certain point you can't create an expectation that you're just giving all this help because people don't have the time, and then it just becomes annoying to have lots of messages that maybe are going in different directions. So how do you deal with that? You can't just be like, no guys, go away. So then we created actually a private channel within that community.
A community within the community.
Yeah, a sub-community.
Until it grew too much.
So that's why I'm validating your point.
Yeah.
Which happens naturally anyway, I think. Like people will just group, right? Yes. So it's like school. You have a school, and then you have people in your class, but then you also like be friends with, your friends in your class, and maybe other people in another class, right? And you'll become this sub-community essentially.
I feel like there's something here. There's something there around communities that we still haven't really cracked.
Right.
Online, at least. Offline, it kind of goes back to that previous episode about religion, like community centers, people hanging out on Sundays. Online, it's like we're missing the right tool, I guess. Like there's Discord, and Discord is really close, and I think it might actually be Discord. I just haven't been a part of any community, so I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it is.
The problem is that the tools won't make the solution. I think it's I don't know. It'll be very difficult to make for the tool to limit it correctly.
That's the
to never feel limited, but never feel too like there's too much power.
There needs to be a limit on how many people can be in there, because otherwise that's where it gets out of hand, right?
That's the thing. It's not just the people, because some people could just be like watching.
It's how many people are active.
Yes.
It can't be overwhelming. If it's overwhelming, it's lost.
That's the thing. It becomes annoying.
Yes.
Like it's like yes, you want to be in it when you're in the mood for it, but if you don't, then you don't want it constantly there. So
absolutely.
How do you balance that? And for some people, it will be different to another. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm feeling something like that. Like in the masters I'm doing online, there is a WhatsApp group, and there is a Microsoft Teams, whatever that's
right. Like, so that's like Slack essentially.
Yeah, it's like the crappy version of Slack. I'm sorry for Microsoft.
Sorry, Microsoft, if you're listening.
You just
this episode is not sponsored by Microsoft. So
I mean, they must know that they're not like Slack. Like it's sort of like it's almost like Slack, just not quite.
Did you see that when they launched it? Slack published, I think in the New York Times, like the first or the second page or something, like a big full page ad saying like, here's some tips on how to do it, because like we have so much background. Like good luck to you. Like we're not worried at all.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Yeah, there should always be competition. I'm kind of laughing a little bit at them, but obviously, I'm sure that the team working on Teams within Microsoft is very likely smaller than Slack, and if on the other hand as well, it's probably less autonomous. Like I'm sure Slack has a bit more. More like fun. I don't know. But we're digressing. Yeah. My point is like we have those two places: the WhatsApp group for the masters, and then the team. There's around 100 students with me. Okay. And essentially that means that the WhatsApp group is too big. It's like I don't know who anyone is. Like there's like 100 people talking from time to time. Like it's hard to like keep track.
Worth noting for everyone, you haven't met any of these people in real life.
I haven't met anyone. Yeah, this is online. Right. We will meet at some point, like at least the London people, and that'll be nice because then there'll be like a little subgroup, like a London community for this bigger one. Yep. But yeah, it just hasn't worked. Like Microsoft Teams I don't get it. Like the UI is weird. So I mean, it is similar to Slack, but it's hard to create that feeling of community.
If no one is contributing, like are people active in it? Like,
people post all the time, mainly
right,
asking for help with assignments. Like which is great. I use it for that a lot, and it's great. We all help each other.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no social. I don't know. There's a hangout they do at lunchtime on Wednesdays, but it's always it always conflicts with a meeting. I always have work at that time, so I've never actually been able to join it.
Okay. So, well, have you seen any of these people on like Zoom calls and stuff?
No.
Not even?
No. That's what I mean, yeah.
Wow. So
like maybe if I joined that meeting on Wednesdays, it would feel more of a community. I don't know.
No, I meant like in any other like just task related or like if you have to do any assignments together.
That's probably part of it. There hasn't been any group assignments so far. Which could be good though, because group assignments can be very tricky. I mean, I'm really happy we haven't had them. I don't know.
It's the double-edged kind of sword, right? Like you have to do all the work, and you have no one else to help you. You're stuck.
I'd rather have a chat with them, as in
just a casual
chat.
Not like actually have to. Yeah.
I'd rather because
what if you get like someone just terrible, like unreliable?
If it's a graded assignment, I do my own thing. You do your own thing. Yeah. Let's not mix it.
Let's just talk.
I prefer that. But I'm just saying like how I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of. Is it a lack of a tool? Is that why there's no better communities? And we're probably as we said, like we're probably missing the ones that do work. Maybe there's a few communities out there on Discord or Slack or whatever that are actually working, and maybe they're big. I don't know. I'm really curious about that.
Okay.
Question for listeners: like does anyone?
Yeah. Do you? Is this a community? Is not so complicated a community?
Yes.
That's a good question. Do you guys feel like?
Where do people hang out though? See, we need a.
Yeah, we don't have like a hangout space, right? Yeah.
We didn't even link our Twitters.
That is true.
On the description,
This is very one-sided right now, guys.
By the time you listen to these, we will have made sure that our Twitter handles are available somewhere, like in the podcast description, so you can. At least so you can reach out to us. You can actually send us a voice message, right?
You can. So if you go to our Anchor page, or that is Anchor FM /
they can click on the description of the episode.
Okay, perfect.
On the description of every episode, there's a link.
Awesome.
To leave a message.
Perfect. Yeah. So you can send us actually a voice message, and we can drop you in on the next episode and comment. So if you have any questions or anything like that for us,
that would be amazing. If anyone
to do that,
I can't wait for that to happen.
I actually want to start doing this maybe one session monthly if we get enough volume. Just questions.
Yeah. I mean,
or maybe even
once we get there. For now, as soon as we get a message, we just put it in the next episode.
Of course, yeah. So the first person that comments, you can come in the first episode. So yeah.
By the way, this is not a product placement, but we're having some beers some sort of craft beers that we bought. I'm having one right now that's an espresso martini milk stout, and this is amazing.
It's good, huh?
I'm loving it.
I think it started a bit strong, no?
Yes.
The first one is a little bit it's a bit of a punch. Though.
Dark chocolate malt, coffee, lactose.
It really grew on me.
It's really good. I would get more. Bristol Beer Factory. Shout out to you guys.
This is not sponsored by Bristol Beer Factory.
But it could be if you guys want to.
Please,
I would talk about it on every episode if you guys
send us beers.
Yeah.
And then we'll sponsor it. We'll talk about it. We'll give you a 5-minute segment. It's
something I love to explore. The community, the whole thing about communities.
How does the community feeling start though? Like what triggers that? Because I think to me is an element of excitement, right? Okay. So it needs to be that someone wants to share something. So is community for you just a group of friends for a related topic?
Don't know.
Because it sounds like it's getting closer to that.
It's a bit like that. I think for me, what creates a community is shared experiences.
Okay, shared experience.
If I get to this community place and I don't know anyone, to me that doesn't feel like a community. I don't know them. They're not part of my community. I don't know.
Okay.
But at least if I know they know someone that I know from the community, that was a bit weird, but you know what I mean?
It's not a riddle,
if they have if I somehow see this person has interacted quite often with this other person that I have interacted quite often with, I think that makes me feel like there's a bit of a community here.
Right.
Shared.
So that's shared links.
That's the shared link. There needs to be this sort of, when I say shared experiences, it's like we don't have to be friends, but we have to have shared stuff in the past. Like we could have shared stories or something we've talked, we've seen something shared. If we're talking online, songs, links to things, videos. I don't know, things that have happened.
Okay. So to have left or to have had a moment in the past that you can look forward maybe in the future to contact them again. Maybe it is friendship, but tied to a topic.
Exactly. Like you don't have to be like fully friends, but you need to know each other in a way, right? I feel like that's what makes a community.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, acquaintances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say it starts with like that first kind of like break the ice, kind of like magic of, okay, now you're having a conversation.
Yeah.
When does it become like, okay, I can relate to this person on this topic? I guess you have to have a conversation about one of the topics in the community.
Yeah.
So either that person engages with you or you engage with them. And for that, there needs to be a space for that to begin.
Exactly. There has to be a place where you can talk.
Yeah.
Right, and where other community members can like show up and talk as well. Yeah,
but what I'm trying to get to is either there's people that are like posing questions or presenting information relevant to the community or whatever.
Who starts new topics?
Or you come in and you don't know anyone and you make the extra mile to be like, actually, I know nothing about this community, but I'm gonna go ahead and share this with everyone. Or you just tag along one of those topics and then you maybe gain the confidence to try and do that.
Which is a good point. It's like can the tool help there? As in, can the platform suggest topics or things for people to discuss? Would that work?
It's quite tricky, right? Because I'm sure you're used to the same way I am. When you go to, like, for example, a subreddit, you'll see that they try to filter your conversation because you might not be in the right place actually for what you want to discuss, or you might have the wrong approach to it.
Okay.
And they might not share with that, so they'll be like, read the FAQ first.
Oh yeah. So if you post the wrong thing, they'll remove it usually, right?
Not just that, but it might be that they have one point of view, but the other point of view is a different subreddit or a different community.
Yeah, that's something I'm not a fan of in Reddit. Like, it's a bit weird. Sometimes you want to post something, you post it on a subreddit that seems to fit. They remove the post because they say it's not quite what we want here.
Exactly. It's
and
quite,
then you need to like go find a better one.
It's quite picky. They're quite picky.
Yes.
But I see that there has to be some regulation, because otherwise you just get all kinds of stuff, and then it's when it becomes annoying for people that are already in the community.
Yes.
So that I think is the first step that is difficult to create the community.
But Reddit, I don't know. Is it a community?
Not Reddit. Well, yeah.
I don't know. It's a place for sure. It's a
community is only as much of a community as it is to you, right? That's what the way you're portraying it. I think what you're asking is Reddit a community for you? Maybe it's not. It sounds like it's not.
I think it can be. As in, there could be a subreddit with, let's say, 100 people, and that could turn into a community. But a subreddit with 1 million people, that's more of a newspaper almost, where you can place comments. Like, there's not going to be a community there.
True.
You can say or think to yourself, oh, I'm a member of this subreddit's community, but like you don't know anyone there.
Okay.
If anything, you might know like some of the more popular posters, people who post content, but then we're kind of back to the whole Instagram thing, right?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's some sort of size limit to a community after it gets too big, it's unsustainable potentially.
People will still call it community, but okay. So for the definition that we're discussing today, it sounds like it's very, very small group. Like it might be.
So it could be big, but for it to be useful, you need a way to have your own subgroups then within the bigger one. I think.
Yeah, but that makes it even more difficult because how did you choose? How did you make sure that no one feels left out? Everyone wants to be in the subgroups.
Yes. In all of them.
No,
in some of them. In the right ones.
But they want to be asking questions to the people who know, and the people who know might want to learn more.
Yeah.
So those people want to be in the group of people that know even more.
Yeah.
about that thing, and the people who know the most don't want to be annoyed. They wanna help and share,
right, yeah.
But they don't want to be
overwhelmed.
The community is at 1,000
exactly.
people.
They don't want to be
1,000
overwhelmed.
messages per day.
Absolutely.
So how did you? It's very difficult to just draw the line. That's the point. So yeah,
there's something about small groups.
Right now, these are just all made manual. The tool just gives you the tool, the means to create spaces.
Yes.
You have the big space and you have the subspaces, right?
Yeah.
But the question is there a need for a tool that decides on the space for you, sort of?
Well, I mean, we mentioned it earlier, but I guess it's worth mentioning it again, right? Like so Jaime and me started an experiment. So it was called Dot Dot, and the idea was that we would group people in small groups.
Yeah.
It's very early. Like it could be much more than it is right now, but I think it kind of goes in this direction where, you come in one day, you see 10 people online, you talk with them. There could be 1,000 online, but you only see these 10. Talk with them, spend like an hour, maybe half an hour. You have a nice time, and then if you come back, the tool will try to pair you again with people that were there before, or if not, people that knew the people that were there before, and you'll kind of find essentially the closest people within the group, right? In an attempt to build this community. But is that what we need? I don't know. Is there a better way? And then we discussed it many times. Like, how do you, like, for a new person coming in, how do you choose where to put them?
Yeah.
Do you ask
you
a few
know
questions?
nothing about them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where tools can actually, I think, help. Like nowadays, we could obviously just mention AI and be like, yeah, let's have an AI that chooses. But potentially, right?
It's easy to say that.
AI will choose.
Just AI,
but potentially, that's where things like AI can actually be really useful. It's like you come in, maybe you say a few things you're interested in. I don't know. And this is very similar to what everyone has done. Is like you log into Twitter and they'll be like, what topics do you care about, right? To suggest some people.
Yeah.
So maybe that's that sort of thing, right? And then you go like, okay, you go in this group. Maybe. I don't know where AI comes in there. Maybe AI is there to like figure out what each group cares about as they chat.
I think the AI will abstract the groups from the communities existent. That'd be interesting.
It's nice if you don't know. Let's say you're in some groups. Groups don't have names, but the system sort of knows what the groups are about. You just don't really know. You're just chatting with people who seem to be quite like you. Yeah. You have stuff in common, and it's fun to talk with them. That sounds pretty good to me. I don't know, but then it's a difficult subject because then there's like an AI deciding who you can talk with. Right? I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah.
How do you make sure that it doesn't become an echo chamber where you're just with people that think like you, so you don't learn anything new?
You don't learn anything new.
For example, let's say, an extreme example, you're an anti-vaxxer, you're a flat earther, something a bit crazy.
Okay.
I don't want to say crazy, something a bit controversial, and it puts you with more people like it, so now you're never going to learn other points of view. So in that sense, it's a bit... I don't know.
And this is essentially what the fake news issues are all about, right?
Yeah.
That people will click on these controversial articles, and then what socials will give them is more fake news.
And they'll post comments on them, but everyone in those comments probably thinks like them.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like it's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get contrast because you're not interested, and obviously they're not interested to show you the things that you're not interested in.
Ideally, it sounds like if you had the power to combine people into groups so they chat and form a community, they would need to have something in common, but ideally also opposing views.
So this is actually, I was going to put a nice tie on it. I don't know if you're aware that there's a Spotify playlist called Test Breakers.
Okay.
And that is exactly what it does, but with music, which is a much more less controversial music.
Taste breakers, so like
literally, it's completely different to what you listen to.
Oh, so it's
in different categories.
So it's specific to each person.
Yes.
That's awesome. I've never seen it.
Yeah, Taste Breakers. Yeah, I don't know if they're periodical or they're yearly or anything like that, but
it's stuff that that Spotify knows that you never listen to.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So essentially, we would need something like that, but for content, like information or communities.
It's something I really want to explore. Like I wish we explored more along these, with these projects with Dot, because it's like, can an autonomous algorithm group people together in a way that makes them feel at home, like that makes them feel like they're part of something, a community, and they don't know, why those people are with them, but they are.
Okay.
And I don't know.
I mean, sounds great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It sounds like it's going to be very difficult to make sure that the conversation is relevant within a topic of sorts.
But do you have to, or is that their responsibility? Yeah, for them, I guess.
I wonder how it is to communicate what the purpose of that group is. And
what if you were, assuming you could, what if you're automatically extracting like keywords about the conversation and you place them somewhere on the screen, so that when someone joins, they're like, this group is talking about these things. I
like that, but I wonder. So I guess there's a few things that could be an issue, but they can be solved. Internet trolls will be an issue, 100%.
Well, but what trolls? Let's assume you can detect them, then they go into the troll group, and it's like this group just full of trolls. Trolling each other.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool. It'd be cool to like change their messages, when they send them to like something nice. Yeah. But only in the troll group. You know? Like, so everyone's been really nice, and then you go like attack, and then it's actually really nice. And what's going on?
Should they know their message changed, or would they see their message unchanged, but everyone else sees the other one?
Their message is unchanged, but everyone sees.
Right, so they don't know that it changed, but everyone else sees a different. Like they go like, "Hey, you're,
Yeah, whatever, insult, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, that's really nice." That's what they see. Yeah.
For example, they say, "Hey Jaime, you're a XX," some really bad words, and then the person sees, "Hey Jaime, you're an inspiring human."
Yeah, exactly. So everything is super, really
just
nice.
Wholesome, just
like
really
the
wholesome.
Nicest world.
The most wholesome community ever.
Yeah.
But it's just full of trolls.
Yep.
But they don't know.
They don't know.
Well, they think they're the troll in a really nice community.
Yeah.
Because they see all these nice messages and they're like...
We need some fake validation though. Like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Or like you, it's not me, it's you.
This would be so interesting to see what would happen, just from a psychology point of view.
Imagine we could build this as a service, and then we just provide this to any company, and then they just twist their mindset. Yeah. Anyways.
No, I guess they could just do a search and replace. Bad words for good words. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's only
on the trolls.
Yeah.
How do you detect a troll though? I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you insult or something, but
bad words. Yeah. There's services this day. I think Google has Paradigm. It's cool, something like that. Something like that. And it rates from a copy. It rates how likely it is to be a troll. Yeah.
I really want to explore all of this stuff. Like combine a bit of traditional, things like topics and stuff with more of some AI tools where maybe you do sentiment analysis on the messages. You're like, oh, this group is really positive, I don't know, send people here, or extracting the topic from a conversation. Okay. I don't know how,
there must be.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way, right? Like even if you just get the longest word out of a sentence, that's probably something about
right.
If you just say something about something elephant something, you're like, okay, that's the one word.
Like in the room, and
they're talking about elephants.
It just
well
it's just what a conversation about
that
elephants.
That could happen. Oh, it's animal lovers.
Gets all messed up. Yeah,
it could be easily. Yeah,
people hack it and they start grouping the words together.
Oh, people realize and they use it.
Yeah, 100%. They will.
But I think it would be worth exploring this whole thing,
100%.
Yeah. I guess the problem, as with all things, is you need people to use it. In order for you to make it better, you need people using it, and getting people to use something is difficult. I mean, you can pay for advertising or something,
Yeah,
but it's hard.
We're definitely, for everyone, guys, we're definitely a designer and developer. We're not marketeers, I think.
Yeah.
I would say. I don't know what you think, Alex.
We're
but
clearly not marketing because
I'm
we haven't
not-
even mentioned the URL for this thing, for example.
Exactly.
Well, it'll
like,
be linked.
we haven't said the name of the thing.
Yeah,
But
we'll
by the
link-
way, you're turning into Not So Complicated, episode 4. I think we are on, yes.
So we're talking about dot, like
Yeah.
dot. So two of those, dot,
Yeah.
and then dot, I am.
Yes. What is your point?
Nice, but
There
yeah.
you go.
We've really
Well-
chosen a name that's really hard to communicate. Dot, I am.
It's actually very difficult to...
It's really
Yeah.
the link's gonna be in the description if you want to take a look.
Yeah.
The problem is if there's no one when you log in, then all you see is an empty chat, and that's not great. So it's only nice when there's more people, right? At least 2.
Yeah.
So that's where, unless you get to that critical mass initially, it's lacking. Like it doesn't matter if you have like the best AI in the world to detect topics and group people if there's no one to group.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it might help if there's content from other chats, but then
I thought about it. Yeah, I don't. We'll need to think about it. Yeah, like pull in like top like headlines from places for people to discuss. I don't know. Yeah.
I wonder if there's value in abstracting, say, like controversial tweets, and then those are conversation starters.
Yeah,
or something
conversation
like that.
starters in general.
Yeah.
That would be interesting
Yeah.
to explore.
It could be that.
I think you need that as well, because otherwise, if it's just a chat, the times that we've tested it with people, you kind of see that conversations, they start, they talk about something, and then they kind of die, and it's really interesting if there's something that keeps like, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about this other thing? So maybe that's something to help. I don't know. I guess the problem is we're building. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're building a tool for communities to use, but as we said earlier, a community needs a common thing, right? It's either you're following the same YouTuber, you're following the same thing, you do the same sport, and we've built the tool for these communities to interact, but we haven't given
the way to name
the
a
common
space.
thing. Well, the common thing.
Okay.
We're expecting people to just come and use it, but it's like, you know what? They don't have anything in common. They need the actual motivation. Like in a way, this platform would be a replacement for the comments section for an Instagrammer or a YouTuber or things like that. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like we need the actual thing that brings the people to the platform.
What if, just as a like starting point,
Yeah.
what if we just allow to, just like Discord, to creators or whatever,
That's
to create
exactly what I was
community?
gonna say. Yeah.
Okay.
Like subdomain almost. So
Yeah.
you would, let's say you are a famous YouTuber, and I can't think of an example. I don't want to. We're just gonna call it YouTuber A.
Wow, you really know your YouTubers. Let's
Say someone.
Let's say one we both like, the Nerd Writer.
Yeah, Nerd Writer.
Yeah.
He
I feel
wants,
like people would want
yes.
to talk about stuff, right?
If you're listening and you don't know Nerd Writer, we'll try to remember to link it in the description, but it's a great channel to follow if you like art analysis. So yeah, let's say Nerd Writer wants to create a community. He could register nerdwriter.am. Oh god, our name sucks.
It doesn't
It's
speak
horrible.
well, does it? Yeah.
Nerdwriter.am. Anyway,
Well, it's called like dot.
yes.
Yeah.
So then his fans go there. There's thousands of them, but when they get there, they find this small niche, and it's like maybe 50 people at most, 20 people, and that's it. It feels small to them. They know each other, and they're all fans of Nerd Writer. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is it.
I think this is how it takes off, and then
Let's try that. Yeah.
there's a public room,
Yes.
and that's how we gain an audience.
Yes. The main one is a public one.
Just like common space, common room.
Yes. And then from the common one, maybe we list some of the popular ones or active ones right now. Like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but if you're a fan of Nerd Writer, there's a community for him. You can go visit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try
All
and
right,
gain
we're pivoting.
Yeah, we're totally pivoting. Yeah.
Well, it's a good idea. And we could have not so complicated in ... for our listeners.
We definitely should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We need to persist messages, because right now they're all kind of in memory and they disappear after a while. And I think it would be better if they stayed, because then if someone logged in to our community and posted a message and no one was there to listen to it,
it just
it's like a tree
away.
falling in a forest.
Yeah. With no one to hear it.
To hear it.
Because otherwise, if there's people to hear it, then
exactly. So
okay. Yeah. Just yeah.
But you know what I mean. Like I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I like it. Good meeting. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
So we're basically gonna try to make a platform for creating communities.
Yes and no.
Not creating. No.
Yes and no.
A platform for existing communities.
For communities
to engage.
For communities to engage
with it. Well,
on like a more one-to-one basis, instead of like a
platform,
a message and a cult.
A platform for community members to actually develop this sense of community.
Yeah. So for everyone, some context, ... is essentially like anyone can get in, like what Alex said, but the whole selling point is that it feels very engaging, A, because of the very small group of people, but B, because you get to see what people are typing
in real time.
So that feels almost like a conversation where just as Alex and I, right? Like, well, we're talking and they'll be like, actually, on that note, just before I have finished my point, and then the other way around.
In case this isn't clear, it's not like on WhatsApp you start typing and you see that the other person sees typing. In ... you see what they're typing. You see the actual text.
Yes.
If they delete, you see it being deleted. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people that have tried it already say that you feel like you're there.
Exactly.
And you feel like you hear people's thoughts.
Yeah.
And it does feel that way. Sometimes it's really interesting because sometimes you want to say something, but you'll be like maybe ashamed to say it, so you type it and then you delete it.
But everyone saw
it, but it's not posted, and that's amazing.
Yeah, but you have to be there to see it.
Exactly. And I feel like the few times I've seen that, I've been blown away.
Yeah, that's definitely that's what we need to make shine.
We're definitely onto something here.
Something there.
There's something here.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so we're gonna make some changes. There's gonna be some subdomains.
Yeah.
Or slash, maybe slash, because
I think slash is more.
Yeah, subdomains are a bit hard.
Also that, so don't.
We're not doing subdomains.
Maybe just based on the conversation.
It's too complicated.
No, and it has to be.
It should not be complicated.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah, so we're gonna go with subdomains, and you know why?
Why?
Because they're not so complicated.
Wow, Alex, it's been a long day, and Alex is a bit tired.
I thought it was really good.
Was it? It's good.
You didn't see it coming.
I'm just gonna not comment on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, I think also maybe we should change the name based on how it rings and
... It's not meant to be said.
Right. That's the best explanation for any name.
Sorry.
Just don't say it.
Just don't say it.
Don't say it.
I think maybe the fact that it's hard to explain could be part of it, The people who know are gonna be like, oh yeah, it's ... I am. Everyone's gonna be like, what? And like, yeah,
I think we just need
words.
to say ... And then people need to just
you can
go
Google
with
it. Just Google it.
Just Google it.
We might. Yeah. We probably don't show up on Google, but we will one day.
We will. With sub-communities and all that stuff.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's how we go for it. It's where communities become sub-communities.
Nice.
Or where... how?
Yeah, we
need to communicate that the whole point is that you're not going to be browsing through these comments of these people.
It's not going to be hundreds of comments. It's not going to be. It's just going to be. It's not a place for you. In fact, as the person in charge in a way. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a writer and you create it, it's not for you. It's for your community. That's Correct. The whole point. Yeah. You can switch from room to room and talk to your fans, but you're not gonna have this big you'll see how many are online or whatever, but yeah, you're not there to post a message that everyone's gonna like and react to. You do that on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. You come here if you want to chat with your fans in an intimate setting which is pretty cool because each day you could go to a different room even.
Yeah.
And they all know each other because that's their sub-community, but you might not know them. You just kind of go in and you're like, hey guys, well, this is pretty cool. I don't know.
But they must still, we're going to have to work out how to limit them still.
Yes.
Because we have to go back to the problem of everyone wanting to be into, the cool community or whatever.
Well, but there's no cool one. Exactly. They're all at the same level. If this is not clear, what this means is that within each group in dot, the limit in a way for a room, I guess, a chat room is like 10, 20 people. Once it reaches that, more people that log in will go to a new one, right? And then they'll be balanced. So like if several people leave on yours, then some new people will be sent to it. But essentially, where was I going with this?
How do we make sure? So right, if we have this subgroup, 10 people, how do we make sure that don't get everyone bored. Comes in and tries to tag along?
Well, they can't. No, they can't because the system is not gonna. New people will just go to a different one.
Right.
And then if you get bored, you'll have an option to switch rooms. So you just go somewhere else.
So you have a space for the narrator or the creator, whatever, right? But then within that, you just have random rooms.
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. And you can switch around. I don't know if there's a way for you to come back to a previous one.
If there's
as long as it exists, and also that, because if everyone from that room leaves, it no longer exists in a way.
True.
So there's a lot we need to think about. Because the main thing is, for me, the main thing is that it's not about the first time. It's about the second, third, fourth time that you come, right?
Of course.
The first time it will be random, but the idea, the main thing is that the second time you come, you see familiar people. And if that happens, that's a community. And once you've been logging in for a month, you literally will know like 5, 6, 7 people. And sometimes they're online, sometimes they're not. Maybe sometimes they're online, but they're not in your room even. I don't know.
Okay.
It'll be complicated, but that's the whole point. Like, you need to come back and find someone you know, if they're around.
Right. Maybe to start another conversation, or when you come back, it's not about. It doesn't take you to like a room directly. Maybe it tells you. Maybe we should store how much of a relationship you develop with people.
Yes.
And then we just tell you that these people are online and in these rooms, right? And we sort them by the people, right?
Yeah, and maybe as soon as there's space, you can join them. But if they're busy, you just need to wait a little bit.
If it's
Yeah, I think there should be some sort of sidebar where you see other rooms that you could join.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't see all of them. Maybe there's hundreds, but maybe you just see the ones where you know someone.
Exactly, that they are relevant to you. Yeah.
So that if all of you see that there's a few friends together, you might go like, oh, we should all hang out together. So just maybe join one with another one, and I don't know. Yeah, I think this is getting somewhere.
It's getting somewhere.
We need to do it.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
It's cool. I like it.
And then I get to apply some machine learning at some point. Practice.
That's the whole goal, right?
I need to practice.
There was no community talk. It was just no.
I mean, you need to.
No.
I do. I spent most of my life trying to figure out how to make a community work. Like,
you did.
I think about it a lot. I keep thinking that we still haven't figured out the way to have an online community, and this might be it. I don't know.
I think again, what you want is friends for a topic.
Friends for a topic. Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. That's what you want, because
people
call community anything that is lots of people with one topic.
Yeah.
And that's
I want a familiar place where
But you want almost like your gang.
Exactly.
Like your basketball.
Exactly. And I want to have a few of them as well.
Like you might watch basketball with your common friends, your work friends, whatever, and also your basketball team. But the basketball team is the basketball team. Like where you play basketball.
Exactly.
So that's your. You have the shared goals, so you win in the match, and you have. More day-to-day interaction.
This just made me realize that it probably shouldn't. Like, I don't want to log into ... and just see the narrator community. I want to see all the ones I'm in, right?
Yeah.
So I need to be able to like really quickly, even have like multiple open. But yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, this is a bit more of a UI.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, no, exactly. I want to have my little gangs.
But that we could merge all that just based on the people that you know, really.
Exactly.
Yeah. That should be probably the important part.
Yes.
Yeah.
People that you know. Yeah. This is it's an interesting experiment.
The main challenge will be how do you determine that the interaction has been positive or at all, really, with that person.
Well, maybe you let them tell you, somehow. So maybe you can upvote. Well, maybe there's like an upvote, downvote, comment or something that's not points. We don't show points or karma because that kind of sucks nowadays. I don't know. No. It's a bit overdone.
It is.
But yeah, maybe you can upvote privately, essentially, just to like teach the algorithm, Like I want more people like this one, less people like that one. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. But I'm just because there is value in people you disagree with being there, as long as they're nice. So I don't know. Yeah, because people with and also people you agree with could also be some people that maybe you don't want to talk to as well. So yeah, it's absolutely. But it's important, I think, that we keep separate the people who didn't talk as much or didn't. So it's going to be a combination of factors. But maybe we just do messages per minute, like the speed at that time, the conversation, and the number of messages and the time. Like we just base it on those metrics. Well, we'll carry these. Yeah, separately. I think we'll take this offline. Yeah, we'll take this offline. But we can talk about it again in the podcast once we've kind of figured it out. We can talk, maybe do an episode about what happened. If it worked, if it didn't work, and our thoughts on that. I'd be interested to know. I don't know. Yeah, if you have just started following us on Twitter or just checked out our links because we were gonna mention them today. I'd be interested to know, would you or anyone be interested in hearing more about sort of live development of a product? Yeah. Or do you just want to hear, the outcome? So that's a good point. Yeah, because I think there is value. I mean, to me, it sounds interesting when we discuss the product, but you need to know what we're talking about. So it's hard. It might be hard for people to really follow along if they don't have, enough context. So it could be difficult, but we can try. We can try. We can make it special, there's many things. Special. It's a special episode. Of course. The monthly special. Yeah. This was a good chat about communities. Yeah, it was definitely good. I knew that you cared this way about communities, but I didn't think that you had this understanding of communities. It's very interesting. It's cool. I feel like we've gotten to know each other a bit more. It's nice. Great. Cool. Wow. Good. Growing together. It's not so complicated to get to know each other. And I think that brings us to the time for today. Yeah. That was actually perfect. It's a good episode. Very smooth. I think good beers. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Very well done. Yeah. I'm proud of us. You've done really well. Thank you. I appreciate that you're appreciating that. Yes. I can hear your appreciation. You hear it? And do you remember this on BoJack? Yeah. I hear the appreciation and I appreciate it. And I listen to your appreciation. Yes. Thoughts and prayers. And if you haven't watched BoJack Horseman, this is not sponsored by Netflix nor BoJack Horseman. Oh, isn't it? I thought it was. Oh, I wish. No, they did. Oh, they did? Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. They paid for the beer. Perfect for a sponsor. Yeah. BoJack Horseman. Wow, that's great. The series that ended sponsored us. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a great. They're a sponsor. Yeah. Such a gift. I know. They're not. They liked it that much. Can we say that they are? Is this illegal? They're not. They're not. We're obviously joking. They didn't. We're joking. Because they're clearly gonna listen to it. The producers of BoJack, and then they're gonna sue us. They're gonna be like thoughts and prayers. They're gonna be like, we're not sponsoring this. I don't know why they're made in Italian. They're not Italian. They're American. Anyway. Ma che cosa per... Should we cut that? We're not... I mean, we love Italian people, right? We love Italian people. Yeah. We love everyone. We love all people are great. We love, Italian communities. Yes. The Italian community. Yes. Okay. We should probably just stop. I think we're gonna call it off here, guys. But please tune in next week for more. I feel like we need a goodbye sentence. Like, goodbye. Have a good week.
Yeah, right. And a way to wrap it up,
Yeah.
right? Okay, we'll work on that.
Yes.
But until next time. Okay, that was okay.
That was it.
That was it. Okay.
Goodbye.
See you guys.